So 20,000 breaths is the concept of how impactful breathing is. So on average, so like when you're in med school, you know how to take the vital signs, and the vital sign that's always made up is the number of breaths, always. And they tell you this when you're in med school, because the blood pressure, you know how to take that. Pulse, you know how to take that. Respirations, nobody's going to sit there for the time it takes, a minute to like watch you breathe. And so everybody, you look at every chart in existence in the world, the number of breaths that they put down is
14 to 16.
Wrong, 20.
Oh, okay.
20, which is too high. It's 20 is what, well, at least I was trained 20 is too high. It's not normal.
Yeah.
But it's a nice number to write.
Oh, okay.
The 20,000 doesn't come from 20. The 20,000 is actually more of a normal number, which is like whatever, 14.
Yeah.
But it's basically you're doing something, let's say, take that. So say you're taking a breath, 15 times every minute, fine. And you kind of lose sight of the fact that, okay, 15 times a minute, what's a big deal? Then you're like, well, obviously 60 minutes an hour. Okay. And then you do the calc and you're at 20 or more sometimes. If you're working out, you're certainly going to be breathing more than 20,000. And for all the folks that sort of minimize the impact of these issues, 20,000, nobody's going to dispute the fact that that's a significant endeavor that either you can do it right or you can do it wrong. And many, many people have made the choice for their life that they're going to do it the wrong way 20,000 times every single day for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, a choice, or just not know, not maybe as much a conscious choice, like, hey, I want to breathe crummy for, 20,000 breaths a day, but just that they don't feel like there's another option or a way out, perhaps.
Yeah, or I think, I don't know that anybody thinks, the reason that we're kind of hitting this 20,000 thing is that I don't think, why would you think about your breathing until you know that it's a problem?
Right.
Right?
Or there's people that on the flip side, like, constantly are thinking about how they have this symptom or stuff going on here, and it consumes a lot of their day, or consumes a lot of their energy, and then some patients are really happy. They're like, I don't think about this anymore.
Right. Yeah, which is a big deal, which until you get that, you don't know what that means.
Right.
But if you've been dealing with this stuff, either for forever, I mean, if you've been dealing with this stuff forever, you don't know that there's some other existence that you could be having. If you've been dealing with this stuff for a long time, you may have forgotten what it was supposed to be like. A lot of, I think we've talked about this before, is many times people don't understand how bad they have it until they're on the back end of us doing one of our simple things, like procedurally, get them working better. And then on the back end, it's like, I got my life back. I don't have to think about this stuff anymore. I can breathe. Sometimes it's a simple thing. Sometimes it's, I can lay down and breathe through my nose with my mouth shut for the first time in my life. And that's cool.
Yeah. I still wake up every morning and there might be some congestion here or there, but I can breathe through my nose, and lining, we talk about lining and there's other stuff that's going on in the nose, but we can get people so open. And for me, I feel that every morning where I'm like, yep, okay, I can breathe through my nose, and it feels pretty good. And
yeah, and I think, and I'd say, same here. I've been there, done that from dealing with trouble, and I'm not currently.
Right.
Haven't been for a long time since I put my nose to the test here, and
That's a good way of putting it. Yes.
And I think there's no way. Here's the flip side of that argument. So 20,000 times a day, you and I have the benefit of breathing freely and comfortably. How much money would I need to pay you to send it in reverse? I guess because
right.
We were just talking about deductibles, all that sort of stuff, which is like, I'm going to have to take time, effort, resources to do something with the hopes that I'm going to be breathing better. And on the flip side, I'd say, like I just said, once you have that thing, I wouldn't say it's priceless is a strong word, but I'd say it would. I wouldn't.
You can't go back.
I can't go back.
You can't go back. You can't take. It's like once you take the blue pill.
Yeah.
Or it's the red pill. I'm trying to
whatever. Yeah.
Matrix. But yes,
whatever the right pill
once
is.
you know what you know, you can never go
back.
backwards.
And
can't go
like,
backwards.
at this point, knowing what I know now on the other side of that equation is like, yeah, there's no way that not once you have that awareness, it's like you're sort of there's only one way to live, kind of thing. But then the challenge is that there are millions of people who suffer with this stuff who find reasons to say, it's not that big a deal, kind of a thing. And for us, it's not our job to twist your arm to do something that you don't want to do. That's like, don't do that, But it is our job to let people know how impactful it is, the things that we do, and that's something that, again, I think if we're not going to say those things, nobody else is, unfortunately.
Right.
And then, generally speaking, kind of with the typical attitude in the typical sort of broken healthcare system, is not about awareness, and it's not about solutions. It's about, sort of sticking Band-Aids on things that, I think in my mind, it's a lot of folks stick Band-Aids on things that they don't recognize they can fix. At least here, I'd say we've got multiple ways to help out the situation. And so
Yeah.
if somebody's got this breathing issue, breathing can be breathing through your nose, or breathing, or just breathing properly. Like when you're sleeping at night, if you're snoring, you're not breathing properly. That's that segment of those 20,000 breaths are not happening properly. And some of those 20,000, some are more important, more impactful than others. So that for when we're dealing with stuff, the times where I tend to hear the most about how the change has mattered is when somebody's sleeping. Like if you can breathe through your nose properly, your sleep will absolutely be
Right.
as good as can be.
It's funny, a lot of people
exercise too.
in exercise, yeah, and a lot of people report dreaming. Like that's it's an interesting thing that patients talk about, is that you're getting into those deeper stages of sleep, and so your dreams are more vivid, and people are remembering them, and it's kind of cool to hear. That
Yeah.
it's just a sign that you're getting into a deeper stage of sleep,
Right.
for longer periods of time.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good. We're winding
You
it.
guys all right?
I guess the only other thing, I mean, the only other concept, I think you talk about Sam Harris and kind of there's this push towards mindfulness, and part of that is meditation and awareness and breathing, which there's a reason that the people that are sort of most Zen focus on the thing we're focusing on, that breathing thing. There's a reason with any of that, it's about, like, whether you're doing yoga or meditation, or you're just thinking a good thought, it's breathing. And there's a sort of a right way to breathe, which is mouth shut, nose open, and a wrong way to breathe, which is any other way other than the right way. And people don't, I think those that know understand how important it is, and those that don't know can't, kind of thing. So.